Our cover story tonight is about Manipur, a state in India racked by ethnic violence.
There's been widespread condemnation of the violence in northeastern Indian state of Manipur after a video showing two naked women being assaulted by a crowd went viral.
आज जब मैं आपके बीच आया हूं, इस लोकतंत्र के मंदिर के पास खड़ा हूं, तब मेरा हृदय पीड़ा से भरा हुआ है, क्रोध से भरा हुआ है। मणिपुर की जो घटना सामने आई है, किसी भी सभ्य समाज के लिए ये शर्मसार करने वाली घटना है।
1 in 3 women around the world have faced some form of violence, and the pandemic has made things worse. That's the result of the largest ever study of violence against women done by the WHO and its partners.
Let's look at data on rape cases, and nearly 77 rape cases were reported across India on an average every day in 2020, totaling to 28,046 such incidents during the year, according to the data from the National Crime Records Bureau.
Hello everyone. In May 2023, clashes erupted between two groups, and on the same day, a controversial incident occurred where two women paraded naked in front of the mob. Surprisingly, the Zero Fur was not filed until May 18, and the video of the incident only came to light on June 24. The slow progress and the arrest of only one person have raised concerns about the efficiency of our system. Additionally, the incident has led to a no-confidence motion against Mr. Modi in the parliament. In India, while many people pray to the goddess Saraswati for education, it remains disheartening that numerous families still struggle not to provide proper education to their girls. As Gandhi once said, true freedom is achieved when women can walk fearlessly without hesitation, even in the darkest hours of the night. Let's begin our case study. How can we foster a societal transformation to combat women harassment, sexual abuse and taboos, creating a safer and more equitable environment for women in India and the world? 2. What are the practical steps individuals and communities can take to resist and challenge harmful cultural norms and attitudes that perpetuate violence against women? 3. What are the root causes of woman trafficking and prostitution in India? 4. How can we create a world where women and men are safe from harassment and sexual abuse? 1. As how can we foster a societal transformation to combat women harassment, sexual abuse and taboos, creating a safer and more equitable environment for women in India and the world? In India, which has become the world's most populous country with 1.4 billion people, the gender distribution in India is approximately 51% of male and 48.49% of female. Physical sexual violence includes rape, attempted rape, and other forms of sexual assault with physical contact. Globally, 1 in 3 women experience this. Non-physical sexual violence involves sexual harassment, stalking, and other forms of sexual violence without physical contact. Globally, 1 in 2 women experience this. In the United States, 1 in 5 women have been raped in their lifetime. India, 1 in 2 women have experienced sexual harassment in their lifetime. South Africa, 1 in 3 women have been physically or sexually abused by an intimate partner. According to United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNOD, India has reported 338,947 cases of sexual violence in 2020. United States has reported 81,763 cases. Mexico has reported 69,320 cases, followed by Brazil, South Africa, Colombia, Peru, Ethiopia, Nigeria. I will give the link in the description, check it out. In India, the number of reported cases of women harassment and sexual abuse in India has increased in recent years. According to the National Crime Records Bureau (NCRB), there were 428,278 reported cases of crime against women in 2021, an increase of 87 from 2011. Of these, 31,677 were cases of rape, an average of 86 rapes per day. India has a comprehensive legal framework to address women harassment and sexual abuse. The government of India has made significant progress in addressing women harassment and sexual abuse in recent years. However, there is still much more work to be done. It is important to continue to raise awareness of this issue and to work to prevent violence against women. Here are some of the challenges that India faces in addressing women, harassment and sexual abuse. Lack of awareness about the laws and policies in place, fear of social stigma and reprisal from the perpetrator, lack of faith in the justice system, lack of access to legal aid and other support services. A 2019 survey by the Pew Research Centre found that a majority of Indians, 73%, believe that women should have the same rights as men in all aspects of life. However, the survey also found that there are still significant differences in how men and women are perceived in Indian society. For example, 87% of Indians believe that a wife must always obey her husband, and 64% believe that women are not as capable as men of holding leadership positions. Let's move from the second question to, what are the practical steps individuals and communities can take to resist and challenge harmful cultural norms and attitudes that perpetuate violence against women? Some of the practical steps should be taken. 1. Education and awareness. Promote awareness about gender equality and women's rights through workshops and campaigns. 2. Engaging men and boys. Involve men and boys in discussions on respecting women and end violence. 3. Support for survivors. Creates safe spaces and support systems for survivors of violence. 4. Breaking stereotypes. Challenge media portrayals that perpetuate harmful gender stereotypes. 5. Advocacy for policy reforms. Advocate for stronger laws and policies against perpetrators. 6. Community dialogue. Encourage open discussions on issues like domestic violence and gender-based discrimination. 7. Media literacy. Promote critical analysis of media representations of women. 8. Promote women's empowerment. Support initiatives that empower women economically and socially. 9. Cultural events. Organise events celebrating gender equality and women's achievements. Role models and influencers. Amplify voices challenging harmful norms and promoting respect for women's rights. 11. Support NGOs. Support organisations working to end violence against women through donations and volunteering. 12. Menstruation challenges faced by girls. Lack of access to menstrual products. Many girls in rural areas lack access to menstrual products, hindering their ability to manage periods and leading to school absenteeism. Most of the school in the rural areas doesn't have the bathroom for the girls. This is the common problem for the dropouts in India, and also not providing safety pads for girls in the school. Social stigma. Menstruation is taboo in India, causing girls to feel ashamed and reluctant to discuss it with family and friends. This stigma can lead to isolation and exclusion from their communities. Most of the school in the rural areas doesn't have the bathroom for the girls. This is the common problem for the dropouts in India, and also not providing safety pads for girls in the school. And here is the third question. What are the root causes of women trafficking and prostitution in India? Socioeconomic vulnerability, poverty and lack of economic opportunities push women into vulnerable situations, making them susceptible to trafficking and exploitation. Gender inequality. Deep-rooted gender discrimination in Indian society marginalises women, limiting their access to education and employment and perpetuating their vulnerability to trafficking and prostitution. Lack of education. Limited access to education contributes to women's vulnerability, as they may lack awareness of their rights and the risks associated with trafficking and prostitution. Family pressures and debt bondage. Families facing financial difficulties or indebtedness may be coerced into sending their daughters or wives into trafficking networks to repay debts or secure financial support. Cultural norms and practices. Certain cultural practices, such as the Devadasi system, promote the commodification of women's bodies and their exploitation. Lack of law enforcement. Weak law enforcement and corruption enable traffickers to operate with impunity, facilitating the trafficking trade. Demand for commercial sex. The demand for commercial sex acts as a driving force behind prostitution. A thriving sex industry attracts traffickers exploiting women to meet the demand. Step-by-step process of woman trafficking and prostitution in India. 1. Targeting vulnerable individuals. Traffickers identify vulnerable women and girls, often from impoverished backgrounds, who are desperate for better economic prospects, education, or job opportunities. 2. Recruitment and coercion. Traffickers use various methods to recruit victims, including false promises of legitimate jobs, education, or marriage proposals. They may also use abduction, deception, or threats to force victims into submission. 3. Transportation. Once recruited, victims are transported to different locations within the country or across international borders using various means of transportation, such as roads, railways, air travel, or illegal border crossings. 4. Exploitation. Upon reaching their destination, victims are forced into exploitative situations such as the commercial sex industry, forced labour, domestic servitude, or organ trafficking. 5. Illegal operations. Traffickers operate covertly, making detection and intervention challenging for law enforcement agencies. Corrupt officials or lax border controls may facilitate their operations. 6. Demand and supply. The demand for cheap labour and commercial sex fuels the supply of trafficking victims. High demand from individuals seeking commercial sex perpetuates the trafficking of women and girls for sexual exploitation. Virtual exploitation. With technological advancements, traffickers increasingly exploit victims through online platforms, including social media and dating apps, making it challenging for authorities to identify and rescue victims. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, India is a source, transit and destination country for women and children trafficked for sexual exploitation. The Global Slavery Index estimates that there are 1.8 million people living in modern slavery in India, of whom 48% are women and girls. The average price of a trafficked girl in India is between $50,000 and $100,000. Most of the girls are under the age of 15-28. By addressing the specific steps and root causes of women trafficking and prostitution, stakeholders can work together to protect vulnerable individuals, prosecute perpetrators, and create a safer environment for women and girls in India. And here comes to final question. How can we create a world where women and men are safe from harassment and sexual abuse? 1. Education and awareness. Promote comprehensive education on consent and gender equality from an early age. Raise awareness about the impact of harassment and abuse. 2. Strong legal framework. Implement and enforce robust laws that criminalize harassment and abuse, holding perpetrators accountable. 3. Safe reporting mechanisms. Establish confidential and safe reporting channels to encourage victims to report incidents. 4. Empowerment of women. Promote women's empowerment through economic opportunities and education. 5. Gender equal workplace. Create workplaces that prioritize gender equality and implement anti-harassment policies. 6. Addressing cultural norms. Challenge cultural norms that perpetuate violence against women. 7. Community engagement. Involve communities in addressing the issue through dialogue and campaigns. 8. Comprehensive sex education. Introduce comprehensive sex education in schools to teach consent and healthy relationships. 9. Global collaboration. Work collaboratively on a global scale to combat violence against women universally. By taking these steps, we can create a safer and more empowering environment for women and men. According to a 2018 study report by the NCRB, India had over 33,000 cases of false implication in sexual assault cases. This means that for every 100 sexual assault cases, about 3 cases were falsely reported. There are various reasons why women might falsely accuse someone of sexual assault. Some may do it out of revenge, seeking attention or sympathy. In certain situations, women may be coerced into making false accusations by their families or friends. The consequences of false sexual assault accusations can be severe. Innocent individuals may face arrest, criminal charges, loss of reputation, job, and relationships. In some extreme cases, They might even experience physical attacks or threats. Instances of false accusations can spread rapidly through social media, as seen in cases like the Zomato delivery boy incident in 2021 and controversies related to fake feminisms in the film industry. This highlights the significance of responsible reporting and sensitivity when dealing with such serious matters. Finally, prostitution, sexual harassment, trafficking, and violence. Not only women face these problems, but men also face these in their life by women. Respect each and everyone in lives to make happy. That's all it, guys. I will give the important link and books in the description. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through this video. I hope you found the insights thought-provoking. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more captivating videos. Follow me on Instagram. Together, let's shape a brighter future. Stay informed, engaged, and be a catalyst for change. Your support motivates us to continue delivering informative and inspiring content. Stay curious and keep expanding your knowledge. See you in the next video.